Now, guys, once again, today is we are celebrating the music of Stefani Montiel. I remember the first time I heard Cielos all the way to now, being so excited when she won both Female Vocalist of the Year and Entertainer of the Year at the Tejano Music Awards. It was just climbing her career with her, and that's the thing about Stefani. She's so humble that she allows her fans, she allows the DJs and everybody else in her circle, she allows us to share a part of her and her music and her story. And so I want to go through all of that today. I want to go through her music. I want to go through her how she started. And again, guys, make sure y'all share this and let everybody know we got something special going on today. I've got some special video clips that I'm going to try showing y'all, and we're going to start from the very beginning. I'm going to ask her about how Stefani Sullivan went to Stefani Montiel, how she went from being from Albuquerque, New Mexico to San Antonio, Texas, and just took over the world, And then I'm going to ask some personal questions that I've seen y'all ask on different posts, and then some of her highlights and family highlights that she's had out there, guys. So make sure y'all stay tuned. Right, guys, once again, thank y'all so much for joining me. This is Karaoke Joe coming to you straight from throwdownmix.com, TuneIn Radio, and of course Facebook Live. And guys, I have the huge honor, I still get starstruck with her. I can't stop it. But ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce y'all to Stefani Montiel. Stephanie, can you hear me out there?
I hear you loud and clear.
Is it bad that I still get starstruck?
Come on, we're friends. We go way back.
I know,
we're
but
family already.
Oh, that means a lot to me right there. Thank you very much. It's it's that I remember when I heard Cielos. I was stationed at Camp Pendleton for the Marine Corps, and I heard your song and the voice and everything else like that, and that's what started it. I haven't stopped listening since then.
Aw, that's so awesome. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it so much. And it's been a long journey for me. It's been such a beautiful blessing to be in this industry and to have been able to sustain in the industry for so many years. But I'm very thankful, to people like you who have been fans for many, many years and who have followed us all the way, to today. And it's awesome. It's a great feeling.
The thing about it is, the thing that gets me about your music is you can feel it. Now, I've told you before, your music has got me through some of the valleys, and it's got me over the mountains also. Your music, you can feel that there's meaning behind it. Almost every song that you write, I can see the story of it. I remember when you released Adios Amor, and man, I saw that one right away. Like that song really hit me like really hard. How does it come along with you, like with all of your music? How does it come for you to pick a song that you say that's a Stefani track right there?
You know that I go through so many songs, and I'm super picky when it comes to the songs that I record. You know, for that reason is why we do a lot of the writing ourselves, and you know why I listen to Gabriel a lot and just kind of let him kind of take over, because he knows me so well, and he knows that you know, I don't like to you know, just do the typical song. You know, of course, you know, there are only so many things that you can talk about. You know, love is one of them, you know, and everyone goes through, you know, the highs and lows of love. But you know, it needs to be sang and worded in a clever way sometimes, or just in a unique way. And so I'm really particular in, you know, when I choose songs, and I go through lots and lots of songs. You know, and Gabriel tell you too, he, you know, sometimes he'll write songs for me and I'm just like, yeah, I love it, but it's not for me. You know,
Yes.
so and that's just, you know, I have to feel the song, and it has to really speak to me, because if I can't feel it, then I can't put that feeling into it so other people can feel it, you know. So yeah, I'm very I'm very hard to please when it comes to the songwriting part of it. Yeah.
Well, you gotta be a little picky. I mean, because I mean, that's what the fans. I mean, from the very beginning, the fans have always known you to be that artist that could really bleed a heart, you know, and so every track does mean that. With Cielos, I don't know if everybody knows, but who's the baby in the video? For those that don't know.
That's my daughter Ileah. If you've seen the video, which is, you know, it's Carrie Good Joe's talking about here. It's just, you know, when we did this video, Ileah was, you know, just newly born. I released the Porque Soy Mujer album. I was actually recording while I was pregnant with her, and we released the album soon after Ileah was born. And so we just thought it would be cool, because, you know, the name of the song and just the message of the song was, you know, just kind of like a women empowerment, and talking about how kind of like a woman can, you know, she doesn't need a man to kind of, you know, justify her or anything like that. So
Yes.
we just thought it would be a nice touch to have Ileah in the video with me. And so, yeah, she's in there. You see her little butt and everything.
I'm sure she doesn't want you to tell everybody that part. Oh my goodness! Now I've watched like old. I don't know if you noticed the channel on Roku, Totally Tejano. They've got all the old Tejano Music Awards. They've got some of the old interviews that you're in on Caliente. You and Sasha, Miss Sasha Way out there. But I think it's cool to look at you through the years, and you really haven't changed. You've stayed the same style. You stayed Stefani. You haven't tried to really adapt, you know, and like some artists, you know, they kind of move on and everything, but Stefani is like, I know I can hear a Stefani track, and as soon as it comes on, I know, hey, that's Steph right there, because you have that sound, that voice, of course. I found a video. I told you I had no. I found a video, and let me see if I can pull it up right quick. I know you won't be able to hear it on your side, but everybody on Facebook Live would be able to hear it. I found a couple of old videos. One of them was at the Music Awards, and girl, I didn't know you could dance like that. Like, I've always seen you dancing, but like you did this flip over this dude's back. Do you remember what awards that was?
Yes, I don't know what number it was, what year that was, but yes, when we did the iPapi, right? The iPapi,
Yes, iPapi. It was the 20th anniversary, the 20th Tejano Music Awards. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, awesome.
I'm gonna play that right quick. Let me see if I can find the right one here. Let me make sure I find the right one.
This is actually one of my favorite performances. Oh my gosh, we had
Girl,
so much
you
fun with this
killed it in there. Like, let me see right quick. Yeah, here he is.
You know,
Now,
like funny thing about this, really quick, before, like,
yes. Uh-huh.
I don't know if you're gonna play it all the way to the end, but any of
Uh-huh.
you out there watching, if you if you do watch it all the way to the end, I was so freaking tired by the end of the performance. I could hardly breathe. So I was like, I mean, like, I was like gasping for air, and I
Uh-huh.
said thank you and everything, and I thought my mic was off, and I went, oh yeah, because I just could not
I saw
breathe.
that. Yes.
So you'll hear it at
Yes.
the end, and we all of us when we watch it, we wait for that at the end, and everyone just cracks up laughing because they knew I was about to pass out.
Oh no. Well, this video I like also because it takes us back in the time of the trials and tribulations that we had back then. Because I guess whoever posted this posted it off of VHS, and you can
Oh
see how the
wow!
video. So I'm gonna push. It's already been playing as you've been talking. I'm gonna push the mute right quick and turn it on for all the listeners out there.
Quiero llenarte de mil besos, quiero ser tu amante fiel. Haz conmigo lo que quieras, yo soy tuya, solamente tuya. Eres dueño de mis días, alma mía. Quiero entregarte mi vida. Dame tu amor, dame tu amor, dame tus besos adorables. Dame tu amor, dame calor. Yo quiero ser la reina de tu amor. Y el ritmo dice así. Dame tu amor, dame calor. Dame tus besos, sabor a miel. Dame tu amor, dame calor. Yo quiero ser la reina de tu amor. Dame tu amor, dame calor. Yo quiero ser la reina de tu amor. Dame tu amor, dame calor. Yo quiero ser la reina de tu amor.
If you think that was hot, check this out. Ay, papi. Ay, papi. Ay, papi. Ay, papi. Ay, papi.
Quiero probar tu dulce boca, quiero tocar tu hermosa piel, quiero llenarte de mil besos, quiero ser tu amante fiel. Come on, baby, drive me crazy. Yo soy tuya, solamente tuya. I'm in heaven, in your arms, give me passion. I'll give you my heart.
Ay, papi.
Dame tu amor,
Ay, papi.
give me your love.
Ay, papi.
Kiss me, oh baby, I need you so.
Ay, papi.
Dame tu amor,
Ay, papi.
give me your love.
Ay, papi.
Yo quiero ser la reina de tu amor.
Ay, papi.
Give me your love.
Ay, papi.
Dame tu amor.
Ay, papi.
Kiss me, oh baby, I need you so.
Ay, papi.
Dame tu amor.
Ay, papi.
Give me your love.
Ay, papi.
Yo quiero ser la reina de tu amor.
Gracias. Good night. Thank you.
Right. Steph, are you still there?
I'm still here.
I love that. So, Steph, kind of tell us about that whole process that you were talking about, like with the dancer. Because I asked Steph if she was scared when she did the flip over his back and everything like that. So, kind of let them know what you told me, hon.
Yeah, no, it was so much fun. I really didn't know how to dance, like properly dance to salsa music prior to this video. I mean, I've always loved salsa and merengue and all those, different styles of Latin music.
Yes.
But my dance partner, who was dancing with me in this video you guys saw, his name's Billy Angelini, and yes, he's the son of the promoter Bill Angelini. And we met, gosh, when I first moved to San Antonio, and he was my first dancer. Like he for like Pura Vida Awards, every award show that I did, Billy was there choreographing for me, and he'd get my dancers together for me, and then we just became, really, really close friends, and of course with his family as well. And through Billy, I met a lot of other dancers here in the San Antonio area, and when we did the Ay Papi song, we did a Mambo-licious remix, which was a little bit more like salsa, salsa version or salsa based, because when I was signed with Sony, they wanted me to cross over. They wanted me to do, more international. And so they had me doing different, just different versions of the song. So we did the cumbia version, and then we did a salsa version. And then we even did what would you call it? Like a freestyle kind of version of it.
Yes.
And Master Mix and Mondo from San Antonio did the freestyle version for me, which they sent out to all the clubs and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And so I learned how to dance salsa because Billy introduced me to another guy, Lee Rios. He has a huge following all around the world and flies all over the place, teaches salsa lessons to everyone all over the world. And he has a dance studio now here in San Antonio called Semenea. And he's amazing. So he taught me how to dance salsa, and they taught me how to do all the flips and, all the little dips and all that stuff. And it was just so much fun. And I just had, such a great time. And, just so thankful for that time and for the people that I met along the way that, taught me and were part of it. And, it's just been so much fun. Such a beautiful ride so far.
Now, is that where you started really implementing so much dance? Because, girl, I watch your shows now and I get tired just standing there, because you are fire. You don't slow down. You don't just stand there, of course with the ballads, yeah, but most of the tracks, you don't just stand there on a mic stand. You're all over the floor. Is that where it started, or was it already started?
Oh no, I've been performing since I was 3 years old. So
yes.
At that time, I would not move anywhere. Like, I was stuck. My dad would get so mad at me, and he would tell me, "Do you have glue stuck to the bottom of your shoes?" I would tell him, "No." "Do you have gum stuck to the bottom of your shoes?" And I'm like, "No." "Well, then you need to start moving." And he would tell, because I would want him to be on the stage with me, holding my hand, because I was I was little. I was kind of scared, lots of people around. And one of the first shows that I did was with Jose Feliciano at the New Mexico State Fair, and I was terrified. It was like this huge, for me it was huge. It's called Tingley Coliseum, and it's kind of, I guess you can't compare it to the AT&T Center here in San Antonio or to the Alamo Dome. It wasn't that big, but it was, for me being so little, it was like this huge, auditorium full of people, and I was so nervous. But so my mom and dad put me into dance lessons. I took ballet, I took jazz, I took gymnastics. I was just all into all of that stuff when I was younger. And, so I learned how to perform, and I love dancing. And to this day, I hear any kind of music, even if it's terrible music, I'll still dance.
Even if it's terrible.
It just moves me. I don't care what it is. It doesn't matter what style or whatever. It just moves me. Music speaks to me, and I feel it to my core. So, I have to dance, and I enjoy it so much. And I think that, on stage, it just comes natural. I don't try to do things, or I don't plan it out. It just that's just how my body moves. It just does it by itself. So I just let it go.
How did you start from Stefani Sullivan to Stefani Montiel, from Albuquerque, New Mexico to San Antonio? How did that start off?
Okay, so this is where it gets a little funky. And I don't want to get anyone mad because people always get mad when I tell this story. There's
Yes.
there's always some people that get a little like, oh, with this, whatever. Anyway, so let me just tell you. Here we go. So I moved to San Antonio, and I was just Stefani at the time. I wasn't Stefani Sullivan. I wasn't anything. It was just Stefani. When I got signed with Capitol Records, and then I released 2 songs under Capitol Records, which are called "Tu y Nadie Más" and "Primer Beso." And I released those. They released those to radio, and I was still living in New Mexico at the time. And they wanted to kind of, I guess, just test the waters to see how people reacted to the song, see if people liked, liked me, liked my voice and all that good stuff. So we released the songs, and they did extremely well. And so that's when I decided to move over here. And at that time, there was a lot of movement going on in the industry. The Tejano scene was huge, and they were signing artists left and right, and a lot of stuff was happening. And my contract somehow got I don't even know. They said that it was they kind of let me go for some reason, and it was by mistake. But what actually was a great thing for me, because at the time I didn't realize this, because I was just so excited to be in the industry, is that I signed a terrible contract with them. And they basically had me under contract for 7 years, and they didn't have to release anything on me from that point on had I stayed in the contract. So I think it was a godsend, actually. I think God was really looking out for me, and it just so happened that they let me go from the contract, and then they tried to re-sign me for an actually longer period of time. But at that time, my dad was like, no, let's get an attorney. We're going to find out what's going on here. And so we did that. And then in the meantime, Sony was coming into the picture, and they were starting to sign artists. And they had seen me at a showcase, and they contacted my attorney directly from Sony Music in New York. And so they signed me through my attorney. And so Capitol was really mad because they had just released 2 singles on me. And then I decided to go. Well, it was their mistake because they let me go. So all of that aside, they let me go first, and then I ended up signing with Sony Records. And then I got, a big contract with them, and it was just, they were going to take me all over the place, which they did. I was so thankful for, for I guess, it's just sometimes the world where, things happen in your favor. And in that time, that, it really did for me. So when I signed with Sony, like I said, Capitol was a little bit mad. And so they actually had another artist by the same name come in and re-record those 2 songs that I had recorded with them.
Yes.
And they took my voice off, and they had her re-record the songs with her vocal, same music, same arrangement, same everything. And she just tried to sing the song as close to what I sang as possible. They put them on her album, and since there was really at that time, we didn't release like a single, it was just kind of like we released to radio, so it wasn't available for the public to buy or anything like that. We didn't have where you could download it or go out and purchase it. So they told people that it was, her all along. And so that's where the confusion began, is people were just they didn't know there were 2 Stefanis. They thought it was the same person, because they tried to confuse people. So at that time, Sony decided that they thought I needed to have a last name so that people would know there were, 2 individual Stefanis. And so they came up with the name Montiel, and that became me. I became Stefani Montiel. So yeah, the people from Sony chose the name, and we've kept it all these years. And sometimes I think about it, and I'm like, should I still keep Montiel, or should I just use Stefani again? I don't know.
No,
so
it's
a little.
It's part of you now. It's part of you now.
Thank you. I mean, I know it's confusing to people because I get that all the time. People are like, "Wait a minute, Stefani Sullivan, Stefani Montiel, Stefani Zavala."
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, it gets confusing, and I completely understand. But it was a crazy, it was a lot what we went through, trying to differentiate between the 2 people, and just to make sure that everyone knew that there were in fact 2 different Stefanis, although we recorded the same 2 songs.
Yeah. That's the bad side of the business.
Right.
How did it feel? Because the Tejano artists these days, they don't get that opportunity. you were with two of the major record companies out there. I mean, how did that feel? That opportunity isn't there anymore for Tejano.
No, it isn't. And, I was so lucky. I really was. I mean, I love Tejano music living in New Mexico, and I looked up to all of these artists, and they were all huge inspirations to me. And, it was crazy. I mean, I'm not saying this in a like kind of patting myself on the back way, anything like that. But I came into the industry, and it was almost so easy to get signed. It was like, I had, it just, everything kind of seemed to fall into place. And, things like that don't normally happen, unless they're supposed to. And, I had been working for many years. I had been, like I said, I mentioned, I started singing when I was 3. I started recording when I was 5. I recorded a 45 when I was 5. I recorded my first album when I was 9. And then from there, I just kept on, this music had been my entire life up until that point. And so I was prepared, I was ready, and and they recognized that. And I was just so thankful that they did. And, to be signed to the same label with Selena. I mean, I got to perform at showcases with Selena, when I was signed with Capitol, and she would be there. We went to the Capitol parties together. We became friends. And then moving on to Sony, I got to work with Ram and be on with, David Lee and Shelly and, all of these, just in La Mafia. I mean, I got flown out to LA to go to La Mafia's release party that they had in LA. And it was like, that stuff was like just normal back then, it was like, it was just crazy. I flew to, where was it? Las Vegas to perform with Ricky Martin. I flew to New York to go do performances there, to Chicago, to Miami. And it was just, that was just how the industry was at that time. And it's just, it's so sad that, that I feel like Tejano kind of got taken advantage of, our industry, our music, and our artists, really, because, we, as a whole, I believe, are just so talented.
Yes.
And I believe that our industry is probably one of the only industries that can cover basically any type of music and do it well.
Yes.
You take a salsa artist and they're not going to be able to do Tejano, I mean, maybe they can sing lyrically, they can sing it, but the feel and the musicianship and stuff like that is different.
Yes.
And it's different. It's just a different thing altogether. But us as Tejanos, we can do R&B, we can do country, we can do mariachi, we can, we do all of this stuff, and we do it well. And, I just wish that our industry had that opportunity again to be on that worldwide level, and to have that, just that national and international recognition that we once had, because I think we really deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many great artists, and I know we talked before that, people want to stay in the 80s and 90s, but the music is evolving just like all genres. And I mean, it's coming forward, and the style, I think this new style that's coming out is good, because like kids like my kids love your music. I remember Elijah. I remember the first time Elijah heard when we went to the Jamaica with y'all, and he listened to that CD. Yes, he listened to that album the whole way back, and intro. He said, "She sounds like Michael Jackson." I was like, "What?"
I'll take it.
But ever since then, he's been a huge fan, and I got to tell you. You are the reason every year in football season he has to get a bigger helmet, because you make his head so big every time you log in on his Facebook Live of his football games. You're like, "Go
He
Eagle."
does so good.
Yes,
He's so talented.
And he told a friend of his, he's like, Stefani Montiel just commented on my post. I'm like, "Son, you're not all that. But you're not all that, boy."
Yes, he is. Come on, you got to feed it to him so that he can, get better and better. And I mean, like, it's just, I love that. I love, I love that about our industry, is that, we're small enough to where, we do become very, very close with, people that, sometimes in like, I guess, like in the English industry, people, don't have the interaction that they have in our industry. It's just different. And we become really close with one another. And I love, knowing about people that of course that support us, but people that I vibe with, and I say this all the time. I keep my circle really small just because it's
Yes.
I've had a lot of bad things happen in the industry and with people, and so I tend to keep my circle small. But when I latch onto someone, it's because I feel that I vibe with them and I can trust them, and so and I hope it's reciprocated. I hope they feel that same way with me. But I'm just very thankful for, especially when people like you show their kids our music and share that with them and share our culture and our music, because they're the ones that are carry that into the future. And we need that. We desperately need that, because Tejano music is a force to be reckoned with, and it's such a beautiful art form and such a beautiful part of our culture that we need to keep it alive through them.
I like the fact that artists these days are bringing in their kiddos, like Angelique, Sweet City Band. Her kiddos are right there playing keyboards with her and stuff like that. And like with you, you got Ileah out there, you got Zayden out there. A lot of people don't know he was on your last album. Is that correct?
You know what? Actually, both of the kids have been recording on my albums since they were little, tiny. I don't know if you guys, some of y'all probably heard the Taken on the World album, but there's a song called Digan Lo Que Digan, and it talks about, let people talk about you. It doesn't matter if they talk bad, as long as you kind of take the high road and you just live your life, no matter what, people say about you. But in the song, there's a part that goes, blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. That was Zayden?
It was Jaylen. Yeah, Jaylen recorded that. And then, like I said, they were on the road with me, since they were tiny. They were babies, and they were on the road with us. With both of them, I performed till I think I was 8.5 months pregnant, and then I took off a little bit, and then after I had both of them, I was back on the road a week later. Because this is all I do. I didn't have a normal job, a normal 9 to 5 job. Gabriel didn't have a 9 to 5. Our family depends on music, and always has. This has been our only means of income, and so even taking a month off was difficult for us when we all depended on that. So I was I have the kids, and I'm okay, let's go to work. And so we were back on the road, and they were on the road with us. Sasha was homeschooled so that she could come on the road with us, and she helped me so much with the kids. My parents were on the road with us, and I really don't know what I would have done without them, but the kids were just immersed from day one, basically. So yeah, they've been part of the albums and the videos and everything in between since they were babies.
I like how you did the Facebook Live. I can't remember if it was last week or the week before, and you had both of them singing with you.
Yes, it was 2 weeks ago, and I had to kind of twist Jaylen's arm, because he sings so beautiful, and he sings all day and all night. He's up in his room writing songs. He learned how to play piano. He's playing guitar now. Plays a little bit of bass, but he loves to sing. Ever since he was little, he'd always get in trouble at school he'd be humming in school, and he didn't even realize he'd be humming. He'd be singing a song in his head or whatever. So I'd get calls from the teachers, because they were always your son won't stop singing. He's always singing in class, and he's disrupting the class because he's singing. And I'm okay. So I would always talk to him. I'm Jaylen, you can't do that. And he's Mom, I don't even know that I'm doing it. It just happens. I don't realize I'm doing it. I'm just doing my work, and I'll be singing. He's I always had a song in my head. So yeah, but finally I got him to come out and sing with us last week, and I was just so proud, because it was really his first time, singing a song on his own in front of, an audience like that, and I was just really proud of him, and really happy that he decided to go ahead and do that with us. And Ileah, of course, she's been the performer since she was little too. She was in dance and all that stuff, and
she's
all
amazing.
throughout high school. And yeah, she's just it's second nature to her. She lives for the stage. So
yeah, I love it. She is amazing. Now, speaking of Ileah, I think, let me see if I can pull it up right quick. I actually have, for all my Facebook fans out there, let me see if I got the right one here. No, that's not it. I actually have the video. Let me see. There it is, right there.
What video? You have all these videos. And
I'm the super fan, girl.
I love it.
Let me get this pulled up right quick. Like I said, I've got a brand new app on my Facebook Live that I work with now. There it is. And for all the let me just pause it. For all the listeners out there, all the people watching right now on Facebook Live, this video is a video of Stefani Montiel. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Steph, but you were the first Tejano artist to be able to perform at an NBA game. Is that correct?
Yeah, at the Spurs game. I mean, I guess it would be
Yes.
at any NBA game, but yeah,
Yes.
for sure at the Spurs game, we were so honored, and of course it was because my daughter. I'm not gonna lie, my daughter was a silver dancer, so that had a
Mhm.
lot to do with it. But we were very, very honored that we were the first, and yeah, it was super, super cool. Such
Well, I'm
awesome.
gonna
awesome
throw
time.
this video on right quick. And the thing about this
Oh.
was the first time you heard Ileah sing in public. Was it correct?
Yeah, because she wouldn't sing. She sang in like choir in school, but she never.
Mm-hmm.
She always told me, "I'm never going to be a singer. I'm not going to do what you and Dad do. I'm going to have a good job, and I'm going to this and I'm going to that." And so I was like, okay. So like I never knew that she wanted to sing, except like I said, she was in choir, and she always sang really pretty. She had a great voice, and
Mhm.
but it was never something that she wanted to pursue or that she thought she wanted to pursue.
Yeah.
So when the Spurs organization approached us to do this, it was I think it was it Cinco de Mayo or oh my gosh, it was some kind of, I don't even remember exactly what it was. But they wanted to showcase, both of us together and show, that she was on the Spurs and of course that I sing Spanish music. And so they wanted to incorporate that somehow.
Mhm.
And so it was their idea. They came up with the whole concept and what they wanted us to do. And then they had the silver dancers come out and perform with us. And when they said they wanted Ileah to sing, I was like, I don't know. She doesn't like to sing very much. And they were like, no, she said she would do it. And I'm like, really? She said she'd sing? And they were like, yeah. So I was like, okay. So we tried to have a couple of performance practices,
Mhm.
before the actual performance. And Ileah never would sing. She was like, Mom, I got it. I'm fine. She's like, I don't want to do this. She's like, when I get out there on the court, I'll just do it. And I'm like, so I was
OMG.
in panic mode. I was really in panic mode.
Yeah.
Because most of y'all out there know Ileah is very vocal with
Yes.
how she, she speaks her mind. She's not
Yes.
afraid to speak her mind. So when she has her, mindset on something, that's just how it's going to be. So I'm like, okay. So I told Gabriel, I'm like, well, we're just going to have to trust that she's going to sing and not freeze, because sometimes that happens where you
Yes.
you get out there and you think you're good and then you freak out and you don't know what to do. So I told Gabriel, if she doesn't sing, if she just freezes and doesn't sing, I'm just going to keep singing, I'll just be prepared, ready to, to step in and keep singing. Well, no, this girl grabs the microphone, does
Uh-huh.
spin, and goes
Uh-huh.
off and she sings my high note at the end. And I was like, oh, okay, girl.
when she- okay,
Does
first
I
of
want to
all,
be a singer?
y'all, okay, for those of y'all, it's on pause right now on Facebook, but for those of y'all that are fixing to watch this, first of all, watch because she struts out on the court, and then she does the Ponle Más verse, or the words, and she does this hip thing and throws her arm back like Shanae, and then yes, yeah, she gets to the end, and I could hear you, Steph, hit the high note, but then the camera was still on her, and girl, she just wailed it. I was like, whoa! I remember watching that live. I watched it live.
Did
Oh
you?
my goodness, yes.
Yeah,
I was
we were
blown
so
away.
proud. I was like, thank you, Lord. She didn't freeze and she did her thing. And then some, like always. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know why I worry, but this girl, she's got it down.
And the most amazing part is at the very end, and everybody's gonna see it at the very end. The hug that y'all two had, you could tell that was a perfect mom and daughter moment. Yep.
It was a very proud mom moment for me. Yeah, and it will remain, something a highlight for me for the rest of my life because I was just so proud, to have her out there doing that and singing my song, it's just wow, in front of all those people,
Mhm.
and then all those NBA players sitting there watching, and it was just wow, this was just a dream come true. So it was awesome.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and play it for all the Facebook fans out there. So here y'all go. It says on the bottom of the heading, Stefani Montiel and Ileah perform at the Los Spurs night. So here y'all go right quick, guys.
Your Spurs Silver Mixer.
I love it. I mean, she didn't even hesitate to go out there and do that walk and everything else. Like, she was on it. Like,
Oh yeah, she's a natural.
she is
Second
very
nature to her.
much. She is very much a natural. Now, I want to get in right quick because, and I apologize for keeping you on for so long. I know y'all got so much stuff going on out there, but I wanted to
No
make
worries.
sure I cover everything. Everybody's always asking, and I found the most amazing video that I've never seen before, but I searched it and found it. Everybody's always asking, how did Stefani Montiel and Gabriel Zavala, the royal couple, how did they come together? So can you spill the beans? How did the relationship go 100? How did they start up? How did everything start with y'all?
Well, it was okay. So I had moved to San Antonio, and my parents and I, and my brothers and my sister were all living in a one-bedroom apartment because we had a house in New Mexico, and like I said, like once I got signed, it was like we had to come to San Antonio like quickly, and we needed to be here. I had to start doing promotion and recording and all that stuff. So my parents were like, you're not going to San Antonio by yourself. There's no way. So they basically packed up the whole family, and we all came, and we rented a one-bedroom apartment because we're like, okay, we're not going to be in this for a while. But we all we all stayed in that one-bedroom apartment, and I started putting a band together, started meeting people from just musicians from here, musicians from of course from New Mexico that I knew, and people that knew each other. So I was kind of getting a band together. And a good friend of mine from Greeley, Colorado, his name is Val Malto. So a lot of people I'm sure out there know who he is. He played with Jay Pettis for many years, incredible sax player. And he called me up one day and he was like, hey, Steph, I know you're putting your band together. I know this kid. He's super talented. He's super young. He plays everything. And he just moved to San Antonio. He's looking for a gig, and I think he'd be perfect for your band because I wanted a group of young guys, or young girls or whatever it was. I wanted a young band. And so my dad was like, all right, well, have him come over to the apartment and we'll meet him and see what he's about, whatever, see if he, we like him, whatever. So Val brings him over to the apartment, and in walks this kid, and he has his hair pulled back and one of those slick ponytails, and then he had the bottom of his head shaved. And his ponytail was long. and he had on these green pants, forest green pants, and then he had a little t-shirt on. It had this little cholo looking dude on the t-shirt. And I was kind of okay, super tall and lanky and skinny. And I'm like, he doesn't look Hispanic. This kid looks like white or something.
Yes.
And so anyway, so he starts telling us what he does. He plays bajo sexto, he plays drums, he plays keyboards, all that stuff. So my dad was like, okay, well, yeah, you're hired. Like if we can't use you for one thing, we'll throw you on something else. So
Yes.
he got the job. And then like my friend Val said, he had just moved to San Antonio, so he didn't have a car. I think he was, oh gosh, 16, I think,
Oh
at the
my
time.
goodness. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would have to go and pick him up. I don't know if he was 16, maybe 17.
Mhm.
Anyway, I had to go pick him up every day, and for practice. So I'd go get him. We'd go to practice. We'd go eat. We'd go back to practice, and then I'd have to take him home. So we ended up spending a lot of time together.
Mhm.
And at first, I was so mad. I was pissed.
I was supposed to be putting a band together, not babysitting.
Right? I was like, man, this dude, I have to take him everywhere and I have to pick him up. And geez. So anyway, he ended up being pretty cool, and we had a lot in common, and we always talked about music, and Gabriel, he just has this energy about him that he's always so positive and so inspiring, and anything is possible. And he's been that way since the first day I met him. He just has this excitement about him that he brings to anything, to anyone, to any project that he's working on. And there's nothing that he can't overcome. If there was a problem, he'd be like, okay, well, cool, we'll do this. Or, hey, no, we could do that. Or check this out. And he'd have all these ideas. And so it was really inspiring talking to him. And so little by little, I just, we just hit it off and just spent so much time together that it just kind of, happened where we were just like, okay, I think I kind of like you. And then I tell everyone one night he asked me if he could kiss me on the veranda, and I told him no, and the lips would be fine.
Stephanie! Oh my goodness.
Well, you know what a veranda is,
Yes,
right?
yes.
It's not anything bad for those out there listening. But no, it was because we liked the movie The Three Amigos.
The Three Amigos, yes.
Yeah, and so that's a line in there. And so we would
Yes.
always kiss each other, and it was just kind of stuck. And so,
Oh my
yeah.
goodness. That's
So
funny.
there began our little love affair, and it all happened in Lubbock, Texas.
Lubbock, is that why Lubbock takes y'all in so much? I mean, Lubbock loves y'all.
We love Lubbock so much. They have always given us nothing but support and love, and they were playing us when no one would, and when people were like, oh, your stuff is not Tejano and
Yes.
it's too progressive and whatever. West Texas, not just Lubbock, but Lubbock was the one that kind of started it all. But West Texas really has been, the one that really just kind of has stuck by us from day one. So that's why we appreciate so much. Amarillo was right there with them though, because all that area has always been very, very supportive of us. And, we can't thank the people of that area enough, because without them, I don't know what we would have done.
Well, the promoters that I know that I've got to work with, they know without a doubt, 100%, if Stephanie and Gabe come through town, it's going to be a sellout concert. They already know it. In Amarillo, it's hard to sell shows, but they know when Steph comes in, it's going to be a full house. So
Well,
they're killing it every
appreciate
time.
that. Thank you so much. No,
Now,
we're-
when you
we're-
and Gabe did get together, was there resistance? Was parents going, wait, what's going on here? Was it the whole Selena movie, thing, or
Oh my
was everybody
gosh.
pretty amazing about it?
No, not amazing at all. No. No,
I'm sorry,
No,
Dad, I'd ask.
they were not having it. Yeah, and actually, my band at the time, they got super jealous because they saw Gabe and I getting closer, and they actually, my entire band actually quit on me and told me that
Oh,
if we
no.
didn't fire him, that they were going to quit and that I wouldn't be able to do my gigs without them. And they did this on a Friday. So they were like, it's either him or us. And I had gigs to play. And so I was just I was in tears. I cried and cried and cried. And Gabriel was like, no, I'm not going to do that to you. He's like, he's like, I'm just going to quit. And he's like, I'm not going to make you make that decision. And I wouldn't ever do that to you. And oh my gosh, it was a gig in Houston. We went to Houston and I could not even talk to my band. I couldn't look at them. I cried the whole way. During the gig, I sang and then I went behind this big pillar and I cried and cried.
Oh, no.
And so it was a really like a really rocky beginning for, for us as far as support, and people, a lot of people didn't want us together, but you can't help who you love, and
Yes.
regardless of everything that we went through and the people that tried to keep us apart, and I'm not saying my family, but there were industry people who really tried to keep us apart, even a promoter of mine. It was just it was kind of a sad situation, to have that many people who were trying to, I don't know, to not support, who you love, and I had to set my foot down, and I said, like, I really don't care what you guys think or what you guys want. This is my life, and
Yes.
I'm going to do this the way that I do, that the way that I see fit. I'm an adult, he's an adult, we care about each other, and I think we make a great team. Like, I could see our future already. I was like, look at what we're doing. He started producing my albums with the Porque Soy Mujer album, and most of that was all Gabriel. Like, we wrote together, we arranged together. We would sit for hours and just come up with everything, like lyrics and runs, and just different styles that we would listen to, and we would kind of incorporate. At that time we were listening to a lot of salsa and Mark Anthony and La India, and there was a group out of New York called DLG. And it stood for Dark Latin Group, and they are oh my gosh, they're incredible. And I think we just got a lot of our inspiration from them. And so it was like, I think little by little people started to see how us working together just was a great thing, and they started giving Gabriel more of a chance, and then a lot of other producers and artists started seeing his work, and it just kind of grew from there. And family always comes around, and we've been together for, oh gosh, almost 26 years now. So yeah, it's been a while, and we're still going strong.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, now y'all, they started off like that, and I was gonna say, if the band quit, good thing Gabe knows how to play everything. But
Right? The one-man band over
the
here.
one-man band right there. But to go from there to now that people like myself look at y'all, and I see y'all's posts, I see y'all's pictures, videos, I see y'all on stage, and I'm like, that's what I want. That's my relationship goal, 120%. That's what I want. The infamous kiss of Copa tras Copas, that right there said it all. Like, everybody saw that. It was like, I think the entire industry just melted when that kiss happened.
Aw, thank you. That was sweet. It was kind of like, and it wasn't planned either. We were just like, we didn't have time to rehearse that performance very much, and we actually didn't really even know what we were going to do. And I told Gabriel, just hold my hand and don't let me fall down these dang stairs, because I have this dress on and I kept tripping on it. And I was like, whatever you do, just hold on to me. We could do like a little dance or whatever, but it was like not planned, and it just kind of like happened. And I was like, oh, it was so like perfect. It just, like I said, so you can't plan things all the time.
No.
Like, sometimes things just have to happen organically, and it just, the universe kind of brings things together. And I'm not going to sit here and candy coat anything, because Gabriel and I have had our share of ups and downs as well, just like any relationship. But we've always managed to, whatever problems we've had, or setbacks we've had, we've managed to always overcome them and find our way back to each other, and never let go of each other, and it hasn't been easy, but it's definitely been worth it.
Now the song Adios, Adios, Amor, to me, it fits so much more now. The video that I had imagined, it fits that. Like, both y'all fell in love, y'all had so many people against you, and you still came together. And 20-something years later, here y'all are. It's amazing.
It really is, and it's just been such a blessing. Having my family together all the time, and we're super close. We do everything together, and some people are like, "Gosh, don't you guys get sick of each other. We're always together. I mean, like Gabe and I, like we're always together. Like we don't. I don't know. We don't work. This. I mean, this whole quarantine thing isn't really that bad for us because we're, like we work from home. Gabriel works in his studio, and I'm usually here at home with him. And so it's just kind of like another day for us, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Only that we can't go out. I can't go shopping. Like I can't go out and go to the mall or whatever. But.
I've got the music awards. Let me see if I can pull it up right quick.
Oh gosh,
I've got those music awards. Yes, when y'all sing, Copas. Let me turn it on right quick for the fans. You look so amazing that day, by the way.
Thanks. Thank you so much. It was a fun one. Lots of great moments. I love the awards. That's when we get to really kind of have some fun and really kind of put on a show, the show that we would like to put on every night. Unfortunately, you can't always put on a show like that, but it allows us to kind of get a little creative and do things a little different than what everyone gets to see every weekend.
Yes. Well, I got it pulled up right now. Let me see if I can switch it over right quick.
Okay.
All right. Can you hear me, Stephanie?
I do. I hear you loud and clear again.
No, it's jumping into another song. I'm gonna cut that one out because the main reason I want to show that video was because of the Copas track and that infamous kiss that everybody screamed their heads off as soon as it happened. You know what? That kiss, I'm gonna rate it. That kiss was like everybody knew. Well, nobody knew that kiss was gonna happen, but it was like.
No.
Did you ever see the video of Jennifer Lopez and Mark Anthony when she went on tour and went to Puerto Rico and he got up there and sang their duet together, No Mames. And at the end, all the audience kept screaming, kiss her, kiss her, kiss her, kiss her. And of course they did it because they were separated already. But that moment was there and everybody wanted it. And she kissed his cheek and everybody screamed their heads off. To me, that's what that was. That's what that was right there. Everybody was waiting to see the kiss and he just, his giant of himself just kind of leaned down and kissed you. It was perfect. It was perfect.
Yeah, it was cool. It was like kind of like it felt so. I felt so safe at that moment. You know, it was just kind of like, okay, we got this.
Now you were talking about the music awards, and you said you loved the awards. I remember the year before y'all won. Everybody was saying that was the performance of the show. I mean, y'all went out there y'all had a mission and y'all accomplished that mission. Y'all put it out there. It was the last performance of the evening and I watched it and I was like, OMG, they just did that. I mean, was there an extra drive in that performance? It was the show before y'all won.
Was it? Are you talking about this past year or the year? Was it
the year before?
So we did Can't Get a Shot and all that.
Yes, it was that one. And you had Ileah on stage and everybody and the three dancers. Yes, that one.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it just goes like back to what I said. You know, every year that's we look forward to it because we get an opportunity to put on the show that we really like to put on every weekend. And you know, sometimes it doesn't lend itself to like some of the smaller clubs or you know, lighting and staging and all that stuff. So we just try to utilize whatever we can to make it a memorable performance. And you know, like it's also a statement, you know, just showing people that, you know, we're capable of even more than what you see on a weekly basis. You know, if we had, you know, I guess the funds to put on a show like that all the time, and it's tough, you know. A lot of you know, I don't know how to say this without, I mean, I'm not trying to say, you know, Tejano's they're not at the level that we once were when we had, you know, big budgets and things like that.
Yes.
So we sometimes have to make do with what we have, you know, and you know, unfortunately for some of us artists, we don't have a label backing us, and we don't have management backing us or a booking agency booking us. So it's just us, you know, we're homegrown, and that's how Tejano, you know, has pretty much always been until the 90s when all these labels came in. But we're kind of back to that grassroots type thing.
Yeah.
But you know, as far as the awards, like it's kind of a statement to show, like, you know, we're capable of doing this and so much more, you know, if given the opportunity. And so it's just really letting people know that, you know, we take what we do seriously, and you know, when we can, we're going to show up and we're going to show out because we love to do that. We love to put on a great show, and we want to give the fans something that they don't always see. We don't want to put on the same performance, and we don't want to give them something they've already seen. We want to give them so much more because they deserve that, and because you know, we're super thankful for being able to come to those award shows and to be, you know, nominated, and even just to perform if we're not nominated. You know, we're just thankful for the support and for the recognition. So we want to give you guys the best that we can.
Well, I believe y'all did make a statement because the next year I was in tears. I am not too proud to say that this jarhead Marine that doesn't show emotions every now and then, that I was in tears watching the broadcast, and they said your name not once but twice, and I was DJing at the time. And I was in the club in tears because y'all won. Y'all won.
So cool. Yes, I was so happy.
What was the emotions going through your body? Not only on the female vocalist of the year, but then all of a sudden, entertainer of the year came up, and you took that one. What was your emotions like?
I mean, it's hard when you work for so many years and you put everything that you have into what you do. And I've said this numerous times. I mean, I don't do it for the recognition, and that's bottom line for me. I've
Mm-hmm.
never done it for the recognition or for an award or anything like that. But when you know, and when your fans know that you are deserving of it, and you
Mm-hmm.
constantly get overlooked, that's something entirely different.
Yes.
And when you hear people telling you, not only your fans, because of course your fans are going to tell you that stuff. They're going to say,
Yes.
you're the best.
Yeah.
And that's always so sweet and so kind, and so very much welcomed and appreciated. But when you hear people in your industry, when you hear your peers telling you that, and when you hear industry executives and labels and people from radio stations, DJs, when you hear it from them, and people see that you get overlooked year after year after year after year, it's kind of just a really nice feeling to finally get that recognition and say, okay, I guess they were right.
Yeah. I mean, because everybody was saying it. I mean, even my kids. My kids were like, "Dad, really?" Like, we were watching, and then when it happened, the first thing my kids said, because they think they know the industry now, they're like, "Dad, you know what this means?" I'm like, "What?" She's gonna get the award at Fanfare. We're gonna have to go.
Super cute. I love it.
They knew you were gonna get the award at Fanfare. And so. They wanted to be there because they wanted to be a part of that. They see you. Miha looks up to you. Elijah's like, you're the superstar in his eyes. They're like, we know Stephanie and we want to be there. And they wanted so bad to be there when you got those awards.
Yeah, it was and I share that with you guys. I've when I did win those awards, I did a video, and I meant every word of it. And
Yes.
I just wanted to say that I shared that with, all the people who voted for me and who have stood by me after all of these years, and who have, never lost hope, that I would win, or, they never lost hope in me.
Mm-hmm.
And, I just wanted to share that and to dedicate that to all the people who always told me that, that I was deserving, and that, that in their eyes I was the best, and it just, it really hit my heart. It was really heavy for me because, being in the industry for, I think it was over 20 years at that time.
Yes.
And I had only won, I think, one Tejano Music Award, which was like a Rising Star award,
Uh-huh.
way back in 96 or 97. So, it took all those years to get like one of the main awards that I had been nominated so many years in the past for. I had never won a Song of the Year or an entertainer or a female vocalist or any of that stuff, and so it just, it makes all the hard work worth it. And, it just makes that win even sweeter because it really does mean something. It's not just, because it was given to me.
Yeah. I mean, and the way you see your audience respond, the way you see your fans respond, as soon as you jump on Facebook Live, everybody's there. I mean, everybody knows who the favorite is and who the actual winner is. Your fan base is so strong, not only in Texas, not only in New Mexico. I mean, it's all over the place. Your fan base is so strong and so loyal to you that they love you. I mean, they love you, and they can't wait for the next single to come out. It's just you always keep it at that level.
Thank you. We try, and we will only do our best always for our fans and for the people that will listen and give us the opportunity to be a part of their lives, and so that's why we do this. We do it because we love it. It's our passion. And I couldn't see myself doing anything other than music. It's just, it's what drives me every single day. And I'm just very, very thankful and very fortunate to have been able to do this for so long,
Yes, ma'am.
and so thankful that people still support me after all these years. It's a beautiful thing. It really is.
Well, I always brag. I tell people, first of all, Tejano is family. Tejano, that's why I love pushing Tejano over any other genre. I love playing everything else, but I'm not going to play a Nicki Minaj song and have her hit me up. You know what I mean? George Strait isn't going to hit me up,
Yeah.
but Stefani Montiel is, and
Right.
she's to me up there with George and way higher than Nicki. And like I said at the beginning of this broadcast, I'm still starstruck with you. I brag because I still remember that time that we went to the Jamaica, and it was so hot. Oh my goodness! And you were performing on a metal stage with metal
Yeah.
all around you, and yet at the end of your set, you got off that stage, went and sat down with no umbrella over you or anything else. You sat down in that sun and did not leave till every single fan at that Jamaica got a picture, got an autograph, or whatever else they needed.
Yes, thank you. And and I do that at every show. I cannot, I cannot survive, and I cannot stress enough. Or as much as as much as I love music, regardless of if I sing for the rest of my life, if I don't have support by, my fans out there, it's like, what's it all for? So I have to show thanks to all these people who allow me to do this and who support me, because without you guys, it's all for nothing. And
Yes.
I'm just, like I said, I'm just so thankful. And, it's such a humbling thing to see people lined up to take a picture with you, or just to say hello, or just anything, of course, wanting to buy your merchandise to wear to support you. It's like, really, me? You guys want to support me? I'm pretty goofy,
Oh my
but
goodness.
but I'm super appreciative, and I just try to make sure that every single person that makes me feel important and makes me feel good about what I do, I want to do the same thing for them. And it's really, it's very, very heartfelt and genuine, because again, I can't do this without you guys, so that's why I do it.
Well, thank you. Well, the last video I'm going to show, I think, the last video I'm going to show is the video when y'all were backstage after y'all won. And let me pull it up right quick. And it's
So you just have all the videos. Where are you
Yes.
finding this stuff?
Girl, I'm Karaoke Joe.
I'm saying.
Let me see. Let me clear this out right quick.
Oh, and by the way, I wanted to just say thank you so much for having me on today. And so before I forget, because I didn't want to forget, I kept trying to remind myself to tell you, I have an Angel Baby album for you, and a 45 for you as well, as a big thank you
Stephanie.
for all your support, and for just always supporting me, and for always supporting my music, and just for always being just so awesome, and for everything that you do for the industry. So I know that you really wanted one, so I called my mom, and I'm like, hey mom, do we have any more albums or
Oh, my
45s? And she was like,
goodness.
I'll look. And so she found a couple, so I've got your little pair there for you as a thank you for everything.
That means the world to me. I already see the part of the wall that it's going to hang up on right there. Oh my goodness. I even told my best friend, I'm like, oh, I want to win. I want to win. And she's like, what? Well, what are they giving away? And I'm like, I want Angel Baby. I want that. That's a part of history right there.
Yeah.
So,
Not even, and I'm not gonna say the year. You better not share the year with anyone either, because I'm still 21.
oh my goodness. To everybody watching out there, it's a real quick little video, but the thing I like about it is the scream that she does at the end. Do you know which video I'm talking about?
No, I don't know.
Okay, y'all were backstage, the whole band sitting behind you, and you go, everybody, guess what? And everybody behind you yelled, we won. And then you did this little cute little girl scream. Let me see. Let me see. Here it is. Ready? Let's go. That right there.
Guess what, everybody?
That little scream at the end is what says it all. It's
My
so cute.
squeal, my excitement.
Guess what, everybody?
Oh my goodness.
So awesome.
And it's cute because your Facebook has it on loop, so it just keeps playing and playing and playing.
Oh my gosh, how funny.
Well, I got to thank you because with everything you do, and you got me almost in tears right now because you just said that about the 45. Everything you do for the industry out there, you know, there's so much more we could talk about, from being on the Grammy board to everything you do with trying to get the young artists out there, including one of my best friends, the amazing Miss Ernestine Romeo. I got to thank you for everything that you do out there. You lead the way. I say it a lot in your post and in Gabriel's post. You know, y'all lead the way, and we're going to follow, and y'all have. So I got to thank you for that because you're amazing. And
Thank you. Thank you very
amazing
much.
is an understatement, to be honest.
Aw. Well, we appreciate that, and you know, Gabe and I, we believe in the younger generation, and you know, we were given that opportunity. We were very young when we came into this industry, and you know, we went through, you know, having people that didn't want to give us a chance, that didn't want to play our music, that didn't want to book us, and you know, through all of that adversity, you know, it made us stronger, and it's like, you know what, we need to be that voice for that younger generation who's having a hard time now because they need us. There's not that many of them out there, and so we feel like, you know, however we can help, we want to. We want them to be seen. We want them to be, you know, heard, and because they're the future of this industry, and if we don't support them, you know, our industry could go away if we don't, you know, utilize these younger artists and support them and bring them up, because, you know, as with any other industry, it has to evolve, and we have to kind of pass that baton on to someone. And if we don't do that, then it can't flourish, and it can't grow, and it can't survive and keep on. So, you know, we both feel that that's very, very important to, you know, just cultivate, you know, friendships and relationships with these young artists, and just support them, you know, when they need advice, when they need, you know, someone to lean on and ask questions, you know, like, what do we do in this situation, or how do we do this? You know, we're always here. You should see Gabe's phone ring. Last night we were sleeping, and 4:00 in the morning he's getting that phone call. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we were exhausted because we've been moving, so we were exhausted. And I'm like, babe, not tonight, because if you get on the phone, you're going to be up till 6
all
or
night.
7.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I mean, like, we try to be, you know, very much available to, you know, whoever asks for help, and, you know, and of course, those, especially the people that we, you know, that we believe in and work with. And, you know, there's just so much talent in this industry, and we're just happy to lend a hand however we can.
Well, I know Ernestine Romeo's, one of her career highlights was be able to do the single with you, and she, I remember I did an interview with her at San Antonio, and she was so proud of it. Like, she kept telling me, "Oh, on my album, Stefani Montiel's on there." You know, it was her. It was, she was so in awe that you did that with her, and to see, like, are the artists that Gabriel pushes, you know, Boshin and Aisha and everybody else out there, you know, that y'all do for. I mean, y'all are amazing, and y'all do lead the way. And I'm one of those people that are always messaging Gabe for advice. He was the first one that I messaged about, that I messaged, and he actually called me about the internet radio DJs. I had an idea for internet radio DJs to start broadcasting by using the Spotify music versus their hard drives. That right now, while the artists can't do gigs, put your playlist together on Spotify, buy the Spotify Premium, and do your playlist off of there. That way, at the end of the month, the artists can get their royalties, you know. And I talked to him. He was the first one I talked to about it, because I knew he would know about it. And I was like, how much would that help? Like, if all of us did it, you know. So I always look for information from him also because, and I don't say it as a joke. I don't say it lightly. I say it because I mean it. When I say all rise, that's what I mean. The royal couple is in the house, and y'all, in my eyes, y'all always will be the royal
Thank
couple.
you.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you so much. And thank you for everything you do. And, above, the music thing, of course, we appreciate that so much. But thank you so much for your friendship. And, that's what's most important to us is the friendships we cultivate and the people that we meet. And just, we feel like, like you guys are an extension of our family, and we're just very, very thankful for you. And you did mention that we've been on Facebook Live, and so I want to invite everyone. We're on there every Monday. We've been doing this. This will be our 4th week. So if you guys go to my Stefani Montiel page, you guys can go on there, and we do a live performance on there. We call it our quarantini performance. And last week we decided to start doing like theme parties because we were like, why not? Like, let's have some fun. Give people something to like dress up for or be a part of. And so last week we did a glow party, and we had like glow in the dark paint and stuff and neon. And this week we're gonna do, our theme is Fiesta. So Fiesta would have started a few days ago here in San Antonio, and everyone is like just so sad because we can't be a part of Fiesta. And if you've ever been to Fiesta, y'all know that it's like one of the biggest parties in the world for music here in San Antonio. And so it's going to be a Fiesta theme this Monday. So we're getting our sarapes ready and our cascarones, and we're getting micheladas, and we're going to have some fun. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow night at 8 o'clock on Miss Stefani Montiel fan page.
At 8 o'clock, okay?
Yes.
All right.
Because I'm always late.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I just looked at the clock and I'm like, oh my goodness, we've been on for over an hour just talking, and I didn't want to give just a normal interview. I wanted to give a little bit of extra out there to your fans, stuff that they might not have seen before, and now they'll go out there and look, for much more. So I wanted to go a little bit extra, especially with it being you.
Thank you.
I wanted to make sure we did something a little extra for you. But thank you so much for everything that you do.
Of course. And thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight. We appreciate you guys. And again, thank you so much for the support. We are forever grateful for anyone who, will listen to our music and have our music as part of, your life soundtrack. I hear so many times people say, this song brings back memories of this, or this song, got me through that, or, whatever. And I'm just really, really thankful that you guys allow me to be, in your life and a part of your, of your struggles and of your successes. And I just, I can't thank y'all enough. It means the world to me. It really does. So thank you all so much, and God bless you.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you. And we're going to be tuning in tomorrow at 8 o'clock on your Facebook page also for that live. So,
all right.
Right, but quick before we get off, on y'all's Facebook page, y'all do the PayPal, and is it the Cash App that y'all do also, to where people can do tips and people can do the tips and donations and stuff? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, so you guys can request songs for future weeks because we do it every Monday. So we're trying to get to all the requests that people have, and we try to cover at least 10 songs each performance. And sometimes like Ileah will join in. Jaylen has performed as well, and we try to change it up every week, and we try to change the songs where they're not the same as the week before. So we give someone we give you guys something different every week. So you got to tune in every week, every Monday, 8 p.m. Stefani Montiel page.
All right. Well, thank you so much again for joining me.
Thank
you.
I'm
going to get back to the music, and I'm going to start with the duet that you and Ernestine did. But again, thank you for calling in. It's a huge honor to have you on.
Thank you so much, Karaoke Joe. God bless you, and we'll see everybody soon. Stay home, stay safe, you guys, and I hope to see you guys out on the road again very, very soon. God bless y'all.
Thank you very much. Guys, let's go to keep it rolling. We got Ernestine Romeo and Stefani Montiel. Un ratito. Let's go.
Yo no quiero estar sola, yo quiero estar contigo. Desde que tú te fuiste, estoy hecha pedazos. Quiero verte un ratito, tan solo un ratito. estar sola, yo quiero estar contigo. Tengo miedo de todo y matarme no he podido. Ven y dime, cobarde y burlante, si es preciso, si ya no me quieres, si ya no me quieres, quiero verte un ratito. Señor, Señor del cielo, no me quites mi gloria, la gloria que me diste. Señor, si es un pecado quererlo tanto, tanto, porque lo permitiste. Señor, si es un pecado quererlo tanto, tanto, porque lo permitiste.
All right, guys. Once again, thank y'all so much for listening again. I tell you.